Just the two of us
We
blowing
can make
smoke
it.
up in the sky. Just the two of us, Yuban and I. Like
Don't
that?
smoke the
It just
pipe
came to
on
me.
that guy. No.
Ooh. So the voice you're hearing, it's me, it's Matt, it's Beard Laws, and the sniffly, coughing, sneezing, mucusy other voice you're hearing is Yuban. Whakinov. Dude,
Hacking off over here is what it is.
hacking off. Dude's had a week. You went and said it in the group chat and totally jinxed yourself.
I did. Honestly, I thought going to that godforsaken AFC Championship game cured me of I was freezing my ass off. I was drinking beers. Nothing can get me. No, I got it worse. Not only did I get flu A, they gave me COVID. I was like, that expired in 2021. I thought, what
I mean, in
happened?
2019, it says it in the name. That's the expiration
Yeah.
date.
Like what am I still getting this? I feel like I'm fashionably late for everything, but I didn't think you could get it twice. I've had it before. I'm just, you know what? The only thing that it did give me one time was superpowers of not being able to smell.
Mm-hmm.
I could go with that again. I can live with, but
Oh, you
just
didn't
let
get
me
that?
breathe.
You can smell and you can smell, can taste, just can't breathe.
Yeah, it's terrible. I got like the respiratory one. I don't want this. Give me the one that I can't taste and smell again. Like down 10 pounds again though.
Ooh.
So I'm like, hey,
you know why? Because you got rid of all of the water weight.
And now it's just going to bloom back again twice as much, just like the last time. And I'm like, and now I will say that the best I ever felt was last night. And it was because the family was like, we got to get up. Like, let's get outside or something. And I'm like, it's 19 degrees outside. And they're like, yep, get out there. Like, breathe in some of that cold air. I'm like, I don't feel like that's moisture in the lungs. Is that I mean, I'm no scientist or anything, but I was like, that just sounds terrible right now.
It sounds like pneumonia.
Yeah. And I was like, are you guys actually trying to kill me? And so that's what my question was as well. Should I seek help? Because I think they're actively trying to kill me. And two, I don't think that method even sounds remotely interesting. I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't sound like it's going to work. But I forgot where else I was going.
But there was a treatment back in the day, where they actually built cribs, metal cribs, of course, outside of windows in hospitals and houses and stuff. And when babies were starting to get sick, they would bundle them up in snow gear, this and that, and they would make them take their naps outside in these outdoor cribs that they would put outside of that. And speaking of cribs, the reason you're not hearing the golden voice, I probably should have said that there, should go without saying, is Brandon J. McDermott. We did get a text message, 6 o'clock my time, 5 or 4 o'clock your time?
Yeah, it was right before 5.
Right before 5, saying, hey, just going to bed, probably not going to make it today. Rightfully so. I mean, let's be honest. The budget for the Beard Laws Stay Out of My Fridge show is 0. So when you need some sleep, go get some goddamn sleep. Because not only is he a father of 1, not only is he a father of 2, he is a father of 3 with a 10-day-old baby.
He's a strong man. I can never go back to those days again. I do not have the patience.
But yeah, you were a little bit younger when 3 came around for you. You know, yeah. I feel like if you're a little bit younger, you have a little more energy. Me and Brandon, we're older. I mean, he's right around my age, maybe a year younger. There is not a goddamn chance that I could start over. I don't have it in me mentally, physically. I mean, I am taking some more, as my Peaky Blinder sound in AI says, vitamins. So I'm trying to get a little healthier.
I haven't seen Peaky Blinders yet. I always see like clippets, and I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of every series now, thanks to TikTok, because I'll get like one of those just Cliff Note versions of every single show. Like, I've never seen Yellowstone. I could probably understand it. There's like I kept seeing. I was like, why is Kevin Costner in like this? What? I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what? I'm like, is this a movie? And I look it up. Everyone's like, you've never heard of Yellowstone? And I'm like, it's a series. I was like, I had no idea. I was like, okay, now Landman, Billy Bob Thornton. Been seeing a lot of you around lately. I don't know what's going. Show looks good. Have you seen it?
I haven't, but I'm probably the worst guy to ask for any of that stuff.
Same.
I don't really have the time or allocate the time. I mean, like the other day, we were like, we should watch something. And then we both kind of looked at each other like, we're never going to watch something. So why even start? Yellowstone? No, never seen. I think we started the first maybe episode and then I got bored and changed it. There's some new Western one that the wife was watching that I kind of walked into the other day. A lot of shooting, They were like they half scalped the guy, and he ended up living, but they killed every single other person around him and stole the women. It's apparently like brand new on Netflix because usually what she'll do is whatever is trending in the whatever. Oh, that should be good. I should pull it up and have that
Makes sense.
information. But apparently, she said it wasn't bad. A
Okay.
lot of violence to start episode one. I feel like that's how you hook the dudes.
Have to get the attention, you know, and like, because seems like females can always see like behind it because she's like, oh my God, that's so romantic. Like he did that for her. And we're just like, kill him. It's just like, we don't need the poetic justice behind it. We just want death.
It's called
But,
American Primeval, Primeval.
hmm,
No, it's on there. But this is what's this is the world that we live in, and maybe this will be a little bit of a history if we turn back and listen to this 5-10 years from now. This is what's new on Netflix. Alone, Australia. Okay, I mean, I could see that. It'd be scary as hell because everything in Australia kills you. Not going out there. Celebrity Bear Hunt, which looks like Bear Grylls is on the front of it. So I don't know if they're bringing in celebrities to hunt with Bear Grylls or they're hunting that.
hunting him.
Number 3, apple cider vinegar. Don't know what that is. It's got a woman on the cover with the emoji of the hearts and the loves, which I did recently Google, I think because of Burley. You can legally put emojis in your brand name. Because I think he was asking, can we just have emojis as a... Nobody technically owns them. So if you were to have it in there, you can. So I was like, okay.
Did not know
This one
that.
is... Then the next one, Kinda Pregnant. And it shows a woman with a baseball bat and a fake baby flying. Like it just hit the baby with the baseball bat.
I'm interested. That one, that's the one. You'd say less.
Let me see the description. A woman longing to be a mom dons a fake baby bump, then accidentally finds the man of her dreams in this comedy starring, oh, you're out, Amy Schumer and Will.
Oh,
You're back out. I
immediately.
shouldn't have said anything. Let you load it up and see how long you start watching Kinda Pregnant.
No, I'm sorry, Amy Schumer. No, thank you. That is one that I will definitely not be watching. She sucks.
And then there's India versus Pakistan, which appears to be a cricket documentary. Pokemon Horizons. Home Improvement is new to Netflix. The OG.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were like they were remaking it or something. I was like, oh snap.
Nope, that's what I'm just saying. New there, and then there's Wrong Side of the Tracks, Prison Cell 211. Just a lot of different but
Yeah, I always have to rely on Goot. I know you do too. Like whenever he's like, hey, this new movie came out, you know, and he can explain it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, so would you watch? He's like, oh man, I've seen it 4 times. I'm like, what? You know, you and I were, he goes to the movies probably more in a month than we probably do in 4 years.
oh, I guarantee you he goes more on a weekly basis than I have gone. I honestly don't remember the last. I think probably the last time I went to a movie theater is my buddies dragged me in with free road sodas to drive on like a right around Christmas time to a Star Wars movie. Not the last one, I think the one before it. So whenever that came out, we drove an hour and a half one way in a storm in a packed theater, and the only seat was the first one that I had to sit in. And I got so annoyed, I left like 30 minutes into the movie and just went to the food court. I was like, ugh.
I see, and the thing is too is like if you're not into the movies as well, like that's where I'm at. Like I tried with Star Wars, and if you put me up in the front of a movie on episode 2 of like a trilogy, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Shh. I'm like, well, I don't. What? Who is this person? Like, what? Why'd you invite me here? I haven't seen any of these movies. You know,
Especially when it's a packed theater full of nerds, opening night. Like you can't really ask anybody. If you probably talk, they're going to freak out and hit you with a toy lightsaber. There was people dressed up, but like, hey, good for them. That's their thing. That makes them happy. Just not my thing. But yeah, I couldn't sit in that goddamn theater. Seats were pretty decent. It just you're looking at that big screen like this. I'm only focusing on one thing. Nah, wasn't for me.
talking about nerds and enjoying their things myself. Like I love going to those Comic-Con things. You know what I mean? I love to dress up and see some fellow nerds and have some fun. But I found out. Do you remember who Amy Jo Johnson is?
I don't. It doesn't ring a bell.
Did you ever watch the Power Rangers?
I feel like I must have, but I couldn't tell you
The
other than
so
like,
this
wasn't it Mighty Morphin Power
Yeah,
Ranger?
the
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power
Could
Rangers.
you
She
name all
was
the
the
colors of the Power Rangers? Because I feel like I red,
Yeah, there was like
green,
red, there was blue,
blue.
white,
Oh, there was a
black.
white one.
Yeah, yeah. There was a. I'm not gonna say there was a White Ranger, uh,
And
but
then they added a black and a pink, right?
yeah.
Or
So
were they part of
the
it all along?
yeah. Well, I mean, I think so. They like the green and the red guy and the white guy. I think were all or no, green and white were the same guy, and then red. They all kept changing colors. It seemed like, but
Hmm.
um, the Pink Power Ranger though, Amy Jo Johnson was like my first crush. So if you were like a '90s kid, you know what I'm talking about. Even during the '80s, you know, Amy Jo Johnson. mm, she's coming to the Comic Con in Kansas City, and I was like,
Ooh.
let's go. And I was like, I cannot wait. I was like, I'm spending money. I'm getting tickets with my baby.
You'll have to go,
And
hey, want to make a TikTok? Sure, yeah, what's your name? Yuban Whakinov, and thanks to you. And she'll be like,
she was also
security.
there was this Disney Channel original movie called Susie Q. Oh my god, I wish it was Susie BJ because this girl it was smoking. This hottie, okay? And guess what? It's during the exact same time as a state archery tournament for a little girl that lives in my family, and I'm so upset.
Ugh.
So upset. So, how many people are skipping their kids' tournament, to go see Amy Jo Johnson? Not me, because I have
Do you
morals.
remember the name of the character in the show that Amy Jo Johnson played?
Oh, Kim?
Yes, Kimberly Ann Hart.
Mm, 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 mm.
I had to look
Oh,
it up. She
yeah.
was there the first 3 seasons of the show and 2 feature films.
Let's see, I think so. The blue one was Billy. Tommy was the white and green one. I think there was Jason was the red one. Oh, this is where it was really bad and very questionable. The yellow one was Asian. Um,
Oh no. Did
I
they
cannot
have to, you
remember.
think? Oh,
Was it
the
Connie?
yellow one was a female.
Yeah, yeah, she was. Yeah, I think Connie, maybe. I think. Uh,
Interesting.
and then there was the black
Yeah,
Power Ranger who was black.
Tai Trang Trini Quan? Trini Quan was the
Con,
name. Yep.
okay, that was Connie McQuarrie. That's okay.
And the black was Zach
Yes,
Taylor.
he he was in Brink, in that Disney Channel. Dude, I'm
Oh.
telling you, just useful information I'm giving you guys at your fingertips. You guys are
And
gonna be
blue
on.
was Billy, you said that, right?
Yep.
And red was Jason Lee Scott. Can't trust a man with 2 first names, let alone 3.
Pretty sure he's in prison or dead.
That probably checks out. Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's
Uh,
I mean, apparently the
oh,
2017 Power Rangers movie was very underrated. Haven't seen it, but they said by they I mean a couple TikTok videos comment section.
leave it to the guy that plays the green Power Ranger in that stupid outfit to have that stupid facial hair. It's got the little
David, what is it? David Lee Frank? Is that or what was his name?
Tommy Oliver was the fictional character.
Right, I can't remember what his name was. Like, he goes by like three. Is
The,
that
the guy's real name is Jason David Frank.
okay? I was close. Okay, okay, but
I wonder what was up with the Power Rangers having to hire people with 3 first names.
I don't know.
It is
It's
an
that actor
interesting
thing.
move to have, an African American play the Black Power Ranger, an Asian play the yellow, a female to play the pink.
It. I remember there being a VHS set where they each had their own little like mini movie, and it had oh crap, like it was like a whole case, and I remember each of them were like just its exact color, and they had like they were their own dinosaur or something too. I don't remember, but I just remember we'd be like, yeah, let's put in the black one, let's put in the yellow one. It was just like really weird, but uh,
I wonder if the
I,
band Masked Intruders had some inspiration if they grew up Power Ranger fans. Because I don't know if you know Masked Intruders. They're a pop punk band, and their thing is they wear ski masks and matching Converse. So and they go by Intruder. So like the main vocals and guitar players Intruder Blue. Then you had the bassist Intruder Yellow. Then you had Intruder Green. Then who was on the Beard Laws show forever ago when we were still doing interview stuff. And Intruder Red is the drummer. So they wear the ski masks. the Converse. What's kind of cool about it is nobody knows her identity unless you do a deep dive and stuff like that. And they can just be out in public in the shows. If they're, the headliner, they can be out with the openers, just drinking, whatever. Nobody knows them. And then they put on the mask, put on the cons, get on there. And I don't know. I've seen them live. They're fun as hell.
Really?
I don't think they're touring right now. Last I knew, Intruder Green had moved. They kept saying, and what would happen is like if a band member was sick or wanted out or whatever the reason is, you don't really know the reason, but they always just say that they're in jail. So that's why they couldn't. So they actually had to fill in Intruder Yellow, the bass player, because he was in jail. Maybe he really was, or maybe just something happened, and they filled in with Intruder Purple, which was this just little short punk rock chick, played bass, was awesome. Was about like 4'3", it seemed like, because especially that. But they're a fun band if you're ever looking, if you're into pop punk.
Absolutely. I'm going to write that down because if not, 2 minutes later, I'll completely forget until I listen to this.
In 2 days, you're going to look down Masked Intruder. That doesn't make sense.
I'm like, that's a weird thing to whack off to, but I guess I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, Matt's into some weird stuff.
I prefer mine unmasked and raw. Okay, no, I'm joking. No, it's, that sounds like, any kind of like color association, it always seems like people always like really grow out, like they're like, oh, my favorite one's the red one or the blue one, kind of like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers,
Skittles, Starburst.
Skittles. So are you a Skittles person that where you just kind of just pour a little bit in your hand and just eat all of them, or you have to pick like certain colors?
Yeah, I'm not a sweets guy, not to sound like a super nerd, but sometimes if you're a little bit buzzed, a Skittles just really hits home. I'm just put a couple in the hand and
See, that's how I am. I don't care what color it is. Like, I know what Skittles taste like. I I'll eat them all. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
But every time that I'm with the family at the concession or on the bleachers, I'm like, hey, you guys want some Skittles? I just want to be able to pour the bag in your hand and everything. Yeah, give me a yellow one. There I am pouring it. I'm like, and then like I get 10 of them. There's no yellow. I'm like, this is just turning into it. I'm like, just take a Skittle. It doesn't need to be this complicated. Okay, can I get a green one? Oh.
Did they ever break them up and sell them by color by bag? And then upsell them. They'd probably make a ton of money because there's people that I would assume would be like that.
I bet so too, because there's also people like myself that prefer when they change sizes of them. And like, so I like the, have you tried the Skittles minis?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, top tier. Oh, it's the best Skittle. It is the best. I don't know what it is. You just get more, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know what, I can't explain it. It's the texture thing. It's the tism. I love it.
So I was asking, you know what? We'll just bring up AI. Hate to keep bringing them in here, but we've been homies lately. Hey, what's up? I know you've been on the Body Wrong podcast. You've been on the Triple T podcast. Now you're on Stay Out of My Fridge with Matt and Yuban Whakinov.
Hey, thanks for having me. Stay Out of My Fridge sounds like a blast. What mischief are we getting into today?
Well, we have a question about Skittles. First off, what's your favorite color? What is the most popular color? And did they ever sell Skittles in bags by just colors, like only yellow, only red?
My favorite color of Skittles is definitely red. The most popular color is also often red, but it can vary by personal preference. And yes, they did sell Skittles in single color packs for a limited time, like just the yellow or just the red. Pretty cool, huh?
That is pretty cool. I like
pretty cool.
I'm a sucker for the accent. If they don't sound like us, I'm like, yes, sir. Like that's I trust you.
This is my favorite thing to say to it, right? Hey, can you say can't for us, please, real quick?
Sure, here it is. Can't.
I don't know how many times I've just said, can you say, did you hear the emphasis on that one? Like, I got you, homie. And it's starting, I think, to really hone in. So what I did, obviously, if anybody does care, maybe you care, this is obviously Chat GPT. You can talk into it.
Ask.
And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay the $20 a month for a month or two and just see if it's worth it, But so so Burley and myself did the Triple T podcast. If you guys want to go watch, if I remember, I'll put it right here. You can go watch it. And we had a whole entire episode where we just said, hey, ChatGPT, give us a topic, something conspiracy theory. And Burley was like, something with the iceberg charts. Just randomly popped in his head. So then the ChatGPT correlated iceberg charts with simulation. And then we just learned a whole bunch of crazy things and theories. And it was just kind of we went back and forth with that. But then at the end of this episode, it was like 13 minutes left. And I'm like, what? So apparently you only have a certain amount of minutes on this advanced mode. And I'm hoping I get unlimited standard mode, because if I only get like 60 minutes a month to talk into it for $20, and then they're like, well, you can just upgrade it again. It goes from $20 to $200. There's no like $50, $100, $200. Listen, for $200, you know the amount of therapy I could get and go talk to somebody and lay on a comfy couch? Probably one session. But yeah, $200 to be able to do that. And we actually tried to get it so we could both talk, because it could only hear me, but
That's, I mean, so if you do another session for 200 or whatever, is it still only for another hour? Or is it
I
unlimited at that point?
believe that it is unlimited more.
Okay, I was going to say, my God, never mind.
Because right here it says, I don't know, it didn't pop up that time. I don't know. So maybe it would reset. It didn't pop up with the warning that time. Maybe it's a day. Maybe you only get 60 minutes a day. That would be fair-ish. I don't know. I feel like if you're paying for it, though, you should, I don't know, whatever. We'll have to see.
It's one of those gray areas too. And I don't know. I always feel like if I'm paying for something, that it's mine for as long as I want to use it, since I'm paying for it. But
I bought it.
also,
it's mine.
I'm very, very cheap. So like, speaking of cheap too, I had some just gas station pizza it's already cheap. And I know you guys don't have Casey's around where you're at, but it's like this Midwestern brand, and it has just the cheesiest pizza, and it hits when you're just feeling like shitting yourself. Honestly, like you're just like, I know what this is gonna do to me, but give me two. Just like I want two of those. But
do they do like a 2 slice and a drink for like $6 or something?
Oh, dude, you can get 2 slices, a drink, I think for sometimes $4.50 if you're a Casey's Rewards member. I believe.
Shit!
Because their fountain drinks are like 89 cents or something still, so it's still pretty cheap. But yeah, man. So I went over there. They rang it up, and I got it for $1.50. Didn't even say it. Usually I'm pretty honest. I'm like, hey, but then I'm like, you scanned it. I don't care. Like I'm like, so I even had $2. I had 2 single bills. Normally I was just swiping the old debit card, and I'm like, I actually have enough cash for this today. I got destroyed it. So good. I'm still thinking about it. I even had a little bit of crushed red peppers to sprinkle on it. God bless.
We were doing some traveling pretty hard, a little bit farther for basketball. And we stopped at this random, it's not really random because it's a small town, Teresa. They have a bowling alley. They got a diner. They got a Dollar General. And they got this convenience store. There's probably more to the town, but in the area. So what it is you go, and I'm sure it's similar to where you are, small town, little small town. But then you come up a little bit, and then you jump on the interstate. And it's Interstate 81 that pretty much can take you from here all the way through New York into other states. Busy, busy highway. So it's kind of like that last stop before you get on the highway, and you're just, and on the highways, at least in New York, if you pull off on one of those exits, they mark up everything crazy because they know, hey, where else are you going to go? Are you really going to pull off the main thing, get lost in a small town? Probably not. So we stopped in there, and the wife's like, look at that pizza. That pizza looks like really good. They had not only good pizza, they had a full deli in there. Then in the back, they had a bait shop. And then, of course, I asked, who's the master baiter? Nobody found it funny. And then they had a full liquor store in the back of it. I'm like, I'm not really a liquor drinker, so I didn't go back there. But I was like, oh, that's good. So we checked out the pizza, and it was fantastic. Honestly, some of the best pizza. Big slice. Kind of had that fancy crust where they almost like twist it.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that with a little seasoning on it. I almost thought it was like some bay salt seasoning or something, which that's a Buffalo thing. They throw that on there. Usually it's on seafood, but who knows? It goes well on pizza. It was fantastic. And for whatever reason, must have thought the wife was cute or something, was us like, You can have that other piece. So we got 2 pieces for the price of 1. I think that was the only one there, and they just wanted that goddamn pizza out. But
Hey,
yeah, and
either
it
way,
was fantastic.
who's going to turn down free pizza? I don't
Nobody.
get. If it looks like it's sitting on that, even like the little spinner conveyor thing in the gas station, they're like, "Hey man, we're getting ready to throw it away. You want it for free?" It could be almost black, and I'm like, "Yeah, shit, I'll take it. But why not?" If I bite into it, don't like it, throwing it away. Like, I'm not gonna not know what that pizza tastes like. Like, I'm gonna taste that pizza. It's gonna happen.
The only
But
pizza I saw Pizza Travesty the other day. I was pumping gas. I looked down. There was a slice of pizza on the ground, and I have to imagine if it didn't land cheese side on the ground, somebody's taking a chance of picking that up real quick.
oh
But
yeah,
it just because I mean it was a good. It was at a again something that's irrelevant to anybody except for people that are there. It's a Stewart shop. Good pizza as well. That's just another place. They win like the best voted milk in the state every year. They have 3 flavors of ice cream. The half gallons for $3.99. They rotate the flavors. Fantastic. And any small town you go through, and why I love it even more, Utica Club beer. You can get it at any Stewart's, baby. So you can go in there, get a six pack of 16-ounce tankers and a slice of pizza for about $8. These days can't beat it. But that pizza, just upside down on the ground. I
that's
felt
a
like I
travesty.
needed to have a moment and like do it some justice and actually pick up the pizza and throw it in the trash can for like a proper trash burial. But then I said, you know what? Maybe there's going to be an animal. Maybe there's going to be a rat. Maybe those Amish kids are
A
going to come over
turtle.
and eat it. What's
Why not a
that?
turtle? Why not a
Turtle?
turtle?
No, there's not going to be a turtle coming. No, I know we went with the Ninja Turtles.
Damn.
I just in this area, there's no sewers, so we're not really a
But
city. You know what I
but
mean?
but you're saying
Lot
there
of
might be a
septics.
Shredder. Maybe
Ooh,
he's around. Maybe you're the villain. Maybe I've never seen you and Shredder in the same building.
that is true. That is true. I know what
Hmm.
I learned. Speaking of shredders, cheese shredders. You a cheese shredder guy? Or you need to shred
Uh,
some cheese?
so I mean, we have like the little TikTok shop food processor thingy that you spin or whatever, and put the cheese in, and it
Uh,
grades it or whatever. But I don't use the old school cheese grater anymore. No,
See, we have a couple of them, and I'm like, oh, it's good. You know, I always just thought that you just take the brick and shred it. You know, you want the mozzarella, you shred it yourself. Boom. I didn't know till the wife educated me on the side of the thing. You can actually cut the cheese into slices with it, and it's so goddamn easy. I never
I
knew
think
that.
apparently there's like I think it's on both sides. So each side is a different cut or whatever of, and someone was even saying because they're like, well, this is the different type of cheese. Like there's different ways to cut specific types of cheeses and stuff. And I'm like, this is too much for me. I just buy
Yeah.
it pre-bought already in a Ziploc bag for my convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it expires in like 3 days, it seems like anymore.
Yeah. So I just kind of buy cheese just to cut it and feel so cool. Like I feel like I really lost out on my childhood with that.
There's
But
Do you ever just mess with some like block cheese? Just like I just get a block cheese, just cut a little sliver, and just like I just want a little piece of just sharp cheddar. Just crave it.
yeah, we're big kind of like snack dinners, and obviously we talked about Lunchables. They're starting to try to ban them in schools, definitely in your area and this and that. They're not good for you, and they're kind of expensive. They are convenient. Sometimes you pay for convenience, but we have gone through all of the different kids stages where they want their own like Lunchables to bring to lunch. So we buy the crackers, get the good pepperoni, get the cheese, send them a little candy bar, whatever it is. So yeah, and even I mean at the time of the recording, spoiler alert, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, we're currently planning a snack day where we're just gonna, you know, eat a bunch of snacks, eat a bunch of food, and somehow hope the mood in this goddamn house changes. Because we were talking before, man. The dad stress, we get blamed for all the shit. I feel like I'm sure the wives out there, you know, not that we really probably have any female listeners. I'm sure you get your fair share of the bullshit and you take some of it. But man, the old dad, the old what's the word I'm looking for? The old dad barraging. What's the word? There's
Um,
there's a word that begins with B. Barraging. That's not barraging.
brigade? No.
No, that's not. Brigade. I don't know what it is. The word I'm looking for, but
I'm
yeah,
having a stroke.
I've been the guy getting the shit whether they're stressed, whether whatever it is, and it's been a moment. So
A barrage? No. No. What
barraging.
are you? What I'm trying to
I don't
think. I
know.
don't know.
We're not an
Hmm.
educational show, but it's like, listen, you guys want to. I'm gonna have to tell you to stay out of the fridge, I guess, a little bit today, because you little jerks come at us with your attitudes, and it's. I mean, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a little bit too much card time. Maybe something. But I mean, they can't be too stressed out. This is the last week for the oldest for basketball. Then they have midwinter break, so they're getting, they got Valentine's Day. I'm sure, the oldest has a boyfriend now, so she'll probably get something. The youngest, they do the Valentines and stuff at school, so that's gonna be a fun day. And then they get a whole week off. What's so stressful in your life, kids? And I asked them that. Like, I don't know if you ever like I'm not a very serious kind of talker, but like if I have to, but like, I try to have humor, and I feel like you do too. But like,
Mhm.
do you kind of approach them like you can tell something's off, and like, so what's going on? Because
Yeah.
we have to take the different angle. Sometimes they don't want to say something to Ma, and I can read things a little bit different than Ma. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I try
Yeah.
real hard to pull that. Like, what's going on? Come on, just let's cut to the
Yeah.
chase. What the hell's going on?
And I think a lot of that has to do with this because I don't want to go through the awkward phase. And I remember being in their shoes and just being like, hey, I want to tell you something, but like, are you gonna be weird about it? You know what I mean? Like and so I do the same thing with humor, try to lighten up the situation, just be like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And they're like, oh, nothing. And I'm like, that's a lie. Like, what's up? But I don't know. It's you try to have those relationships, but it gets difficult. And I know at your house too, you got a lot of hormones in your house, a lot of hormones.
All
So
girls, all girls, all the time.
bless your heart. That is, I will tell you though, boys, ass. They can be jerks too, but
Oh, it's a different kind of dynamic from what. And I didn't grow up with a sister, so you know what I mean. My mom's definitely like a boy ma. Like she was
same.
much different. So we've always been pretty close and can kind of just talk whatever real. But this whole thing, and I'm like, why the hell are you laying in your goddamn room all day watching the phone? Well, it's normal, is it? For them just to lay around and do nothing all goddamn day? That's how they relax. And I'm like, huh? So I talked to other parents and stuff too, and they're like, yeah, that's how I did. I grew up, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay, well, at least clean your room while you're in there. Don't always have to tell them to clean the room. Yeah, I do.
That's
It's a goddamn mess.
I know it's what parenting's tough. It's I learned something new literally. I mean, every day, every hour it seems like with these kids. But uh, something I think is just completely black and white. I see a kid making a mess in the room repetitively, and I'm just like, hey, what are we doing? Like, what? Stop doing that. I get approached with, hey, you know, don't point it out. Like, just they'll get it. Like, I'm like, what? Like, everything's fine. Like, these are kids. I'm just like, it's a mess pick up now. Like, this is like A plus B equals C. Like, what is this stuff? I don't understand. What are we doing here? But I don't know. So sometimes I do feel like I always go gun hot. I'm not getting backstories of information. I'm just like, it's broken, fix it. What are we doing? Let's move on. Hug each other. Everybody's cool. I just want to fix it, understand it, and get it done immediately. And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always work that way. And so whenever I can have the support of the missus and she says, hey, pump the brakes, here's what's going on, I'm like, you need good foundation like that. But I still go 0 to 100 in like 3 seconds. I'll never learn my lesson.
Yeah, I'm like Xavier Worthy in his 40 time. It's just zoop, and they I don't know. I try. It's not like it's I'm not out there like f you blah blah beep 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 beep. It's just like every once in a while you just got to be loud so they listen. But it's the same thing. Like, and it's funny because they're all different kind of points in life, and all different things. Like little things. Like one kid will rinse off their dishes and put it in the dishwasher. One kid will rinse it off and set it in the sink. And one kid just throws it in the goddamn sink. And it's just like, you would think that it would always be, all right, the oldest would do it. No. And then sometimes they switch it up. It seems like there's always one. And I'm thinking, are you little shits conspiring? Like, or, just kind of coming at that. You guys are putting a plan together just to piss me off because there's one thing. I don't know. It's a weird trigger. I hate having dirty dishes in the sink. Like, we're not these people that have the super clean house, but we're not dirty hoarders. Like I remember kind of hearing one, and I think it's because for me, like we grew up, my mom always had to have like a clean house. Like it always had to kind of be clean. The dishes always had to be done. Nothing could be on the floor. And it was always that. So now I'm like, it doesn't have to be that clean, but we can't live in filth. But for some reason, I need a clean sink. I don't know what it is. And when they just leave stuff, I think they do it on purpose.
So that's, I don't know what triggers that, not to be like a mental health podcast or anything like that.
Yeah, no, we're not. We have mental problems, but we're not healthy.
But it's, I do the same thing. Like whenever I see something, and especially if I go, hey guys, can we like not put cereal, especially if there is cereal still
Yogurt.
left in this? Oh my God, I will. That's the one time I'm like, I understand why these parents snap. Like I get it, So,
Because
but
we
like,
don't have a garbage disposal either. We still have so we
yeah,
have a farmhouse and it's got the old style sink that's even got the metal piece on the side where you can put the dishes and it drains back in there when they dry. And I mean, you can't replace something like that. So
right.
I bought the metal strainers to put in the sink so all the food doesn't go down. And when you get that yogurt that just sits in there and it starts to, I'm not going to trigger you because I know you're off, but my God, it looks like little fish eggs in there, but the fish ain't
Ugh.
coming out and it smells worse.
That's I'm always scooping just some wet marshmallow cereal from Lucky Charms out of there, and I'm like, and I know I got the toddler who, bless his heart, tries, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and usually I just see him just leave the table and it's just left there, and I'm like, all right. So then I'm like, who helped pick this up and just put it in the sink? I'm over there. I always get. I don't know if it's just a technique. It's again or the tism. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know what it is, but I'll get the bowl and I'll have a spoon and I guard this cereal from coming out, dump a little bit of the milk out, then put it in the trash, come back, rinse the bowl, put it in the dishwasher. It's a 30-second process.
Mm-hmm.
No, how can we do that when we got our phone in our hand and we're trying to just put it into the sink and then just move on with our day?
Yep.
Because dad will take care of it. But one thing that you did mention was you grew up in where your mom's house, like, or your mom was like, it has to be clean, everything is clean. I was the exact opposite. My mom was, and it's funny how things work now because, like, whenever I grew up, you couldn't see the kitchen table. Like everything was just there was just stuff everywhere. You couldn't see the floor almost. It wasn't like hoarder status, but like it wasn't well maintained
Cluttered.
and
Yeah.
cluttered, very bad. And my room was generally the cleanest because I was like, oh my God, like this is kind of this sucks a little bit. But but now growing up, or now the house of still not immaculate by any means, but much better standards. And that's why I tend to focus on certain things that I remember that from as a kid being like, so our table, if there's anything on the table, I'm like, no. I'm like, put it off the table.
Dude.
And then they come here and see my desk and they're like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, no. Your personal spaces. I see your guys' rooms. I'll let you destroy your personal spaces. Public spaces, no thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's a big thing with us too. We actually have a huge circle table. I think one of the uncles or something made it in shop class years ago for my grandparents, so it's still in there. And it seems to be the catch-all. It for whatever
Mhm.
reason, it's the place that everything in. I guess a little bit of the defense of there. That's the place where we hang out. Like if we're hanging out, we have again the old farmhouse, so it's like a split living room. So it's not really ideal for all of us to just be able to sit there. We're not really TV movie watchers, so it's not like we're going to sit on the couch and have the TV on and just hang out. So like for us, everything's hanging out in the kitchen. We're hanging out there. The dogs are hanging out there, playing games on the table, but it seems to be the catch-all. It's the first place when you walk in the door, you see that table, you set stuff down. They've gotten a lot better. Has there been times where I've wanted to just flip up the table, have everything fall and be like, clean it? But I know that's not a good thing.
That's I usually get a look from the missus whenever I think they take out trash out of the car and just leave it in the driveway for me to pick it up. And I'm just like, what? Why? And I was like, hey, you guys, I emptied my vehicle out too. You know what I do? I bring the trash in, or I bring a trash bag outside with me to put it into the trash can. And
Yep.
if they ever get if I see them cleaning out the car, I'm like, hey, here's a trash bag. For the love of God, I was like, just put it in the trash bag. The trash bag will still be sitting in the driveway. And I'm like, well, you couldn't even what is going on? I'm like, this. So it drives me absolute bonkers when they do this stuff. And then I go, hey, I'm going to start picking all this stuff up. And I was like, I'm going to put it in your beds. And I was like, if you want to leave it out for me, you're going to find all this stuff in your bed. And my wife's like, don't put trash in their beds. And I'm like, because you're guilty too, bitch. I'm putting it on your half. I was like, you're going to get all of this. Your Dr. Pepper cans, your Starbucks drinks and everything. And she's always like, well, I get in the car and I have my morning drink and I'm out of cup holders. And I'm like, clean up more. You know, I was like, I drive a truck. I got 4 cup holders and I'm surviving. You know, do I have bottles of water and Sprite and Gatorade all over my bed in my truck? Yeah, we adapt. You know,
Yeah.
but
I've had to start because everybody kind of has their, not assigned seat. That sounds weird, but they all have a spot at the table. Like that's their spot. You know, I know we've all just kind of gravitated. That's where you sit. That's what you do. So they all kind of have their own little areas almost there. And if it's nasty there, then it's nasty. And if it gets to the point where they don't have a spot to sit, that really sucks for them. But it's pretty apparent. And usually the younger one is the most guilty. I mean, they're younger. I get it. They have more things. And I know you said something about, yeah, they're too busy on their phone. We have a no technology at the table rule, you know, especially when there's food out, because it's the same thing. They would just be, yep. Hey, what's going on there? You know, it drives me. And maybe we're old school, whatever, but we have a conversation, this and that. And then old school style, they have to ask to be excused.
Oh,
which I'm like, so they're like, can we be excused? Not yet. And then now it's to the point like they're like, oh shit, what did I do? And then every once in a while I'll click, oh, finish rinsing off the thing, dishwasher, now can I be excused? Sure.
that's
so it's
good.
like, hey, you're gonna sit there, and I know you don't want to sit there. You want to go talk to your friends, or you want to go play this game, or you want to do the things, and then they're starting to remember, and it's starting to. I'm like, all right, things are working.
It's terrible. Everyone's on their phones. It drives me nuts. And like, my wife eats like she's in prison. Like by the time I sit down, hers is already gone, and I'm like, "You skinny bitch!" I'm like, "Where are you putting this stuff?" God bless, dude. So I'll sit down and I'm just looking. There's the youngest is on tablet. You know, usually it's like a video playing or whatever while he's eating. But everyone's got there's AirPods in. You know, it's just I'm like, "Hey, how was school? Everything good?" You know. I usually talk to them. I get the ride home from school. You know, I go pick them up, and that's usually I'm like, hey, how was your day? What's going on? What's the plans for today? But we've been kind of slacking on them getting their homework done as soon as they get home from school. So we had to re-implement that, and they've had a lot of snow days, and of course, you know, winter break was in less than a month ago.
And then the sickness.
Yeah, just I mean, everyone's been sick. So I'm like, hey, you know, we need to get back onto this track. I was like, we're all kind of just getting everything's falling away to the wayside. Let's get back on this. And you're terrible. Oh my gosh, dad sucks. And I'm like, oh, and I look at these homework assignments, especially my 4th grader who thinks one homework assignment's the end of the world. He goes, this is going to take forever. And I'm like, all right, let's look at it. He knocked it out in 5 minutes. And I'm like, did you freak out for an assignment that literally just took you 5 minutes? He's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, are we going to do this again? And he's like, yeah, probably. And I'm like, well, at least you're honest. All right, well. At least you're honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like the youngest too. I don't want to do the homework, so we get down, and I don't know the difference. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since I've had to really sit down and do some homework. So we're going through it and this and that. We get through it. I'm like, wow, this takes forever. We're like 40 minutes in, and I'm like, are we done? And she's like, yeah, I think so. So I'm like, holy cow. So we get there. The wife's like, oh, did you guys do the homework? I'm like, yeah. She's like, thanks for helping. She looks over. She's like, huh. I go, what? She goes, I think you did the whole week's worth of work. I go, huh? Well, it's the packet. Yeah, you only had to do the one page of the packet. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, there you go, kid. We spent 40 minutes. Now you're done for the week. And she's what? I'm like, how do you not know this? This is your school. Like, this is your work, not mine. I think I forgot. Okay. So I'm thinking, like, what kind of asshole teacher is going to give 40 minutes of homework to like 3rd graders? Not only that, like how much would your life suck? Because then you got to grade 40 minutes of homework turns out it was just a week.
I mean, there are some, I know that with the way that our school is, there's like in elementary, there's 2 3rd grade teachers, 2 4th grade, like each grade has 2 teachers, and it seems like every single one of them is very lax with homework, and the other one is very aggressive with the homework. And so it is just whenever they come out with the class schedules, it's always a freaking fit of they're like, oh, I got this
I
one, I
got
got this
this.
one. Yes, and I'm just like, oh, I was like, let's just get the easy ones for my sake too, because you know how it is, sports and everything.
Hmm.
Doing homework on the way to all these games, at the games, or extremely late when you get home from the games, and it's just like
While you're
that's
eating the food. Yeah, it's
that's
a
the last thing you want to do is just eat the late food and then have to fight with your kid with this extremely long homework assignment at 10:45 at night. No, that's nope. I'm past.
Yep.
Put a
I'm
gun to me.
thankful at least the oldest, definitely is one that utilizes study halls. I know a lot of people don't. They just kind of use it as a like, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to just kind of mess around. But very thankful for that. And I think, and that's a beauty, in my opinion, of being in sports is you learn time management. You learn how to deal with stress. I mean, and it's only going to help when they're older, when they have to start, being like us and being 18 million places, getting shit on by the family. Everybody hates you. Everybody's mad at you. Nobody wants to talk to you. I tell them all the time. They start getting mad at me, and I'm like, listen. I pull up the thing on my phone. It's like, scientists say that men should have dude nights 2 days a week for their mental health. I haven't had 2 days with the boys probably in years. So
Right.
let's all calm it down a little bit, all right?
That's I had to explain because they always say like I used to throw darts, a lot. I was like
Mm-hmm.
going that was my once a week outlet. That was my thing. It's been a year since I've been on that team. So that's why the kids were like, "Well, you're always out and stuff," and I'm like, "For what? Going to your guys' games, watching your friends' games, going helping referee some of these damn games?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And even my wife was like, "Yeah," she's like, "Oh, you have some nights out." I was like, the last 7 months, I went to a fantasy football draft. I was like, that lasted an hour and a half. And I was like, and in that AFC championship game, I was like,
Yep.
those are my 2 nights out. And she's like, damn, you're right. And I was like, I don't go out. I was like, I hang out with my boys. I talk to you, hang out with the Body Wrong crew as well.
Yep.
And that's my outlet. That's what I enjoy. And thank God for it, because if not, I would be extremely more pissy than I am
Yep.
now.
And then and then it feels weird, like, what's going on? Almost when the kids start asking you what's wrong instead of you being like, what's wrong? Like, I don't want to sit there and be like, well, this is wrong and this is wrong. Well, we can't afford this month. And it's just like, it's a different dynamic. You don't want to be real with them, but I just am like, you know what? Pretty stressed out. Got a lot of stuff going on. And like what? Well, you play here, 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 here. This one has this game, this game, this game practice. Then this one has dance and this and this and this. Oh, and then, have to work every day. And, then we have this on the weekends with the tournaments and then travel this. And it's like, that's why there's no time.
There's
Just
never,
want a
never
couple
enough.
hours. And I tell them now, I was like, I'm getting stressed because I'm going to be 40 and I'm not looking forward to that shit.
Your birthday is coming up next
It's just,
week.
the whole number, it's really been messing with me. I can't shake it. I don't
Oh
want to
man,
be
hey,
40.
that's like we talk about like the midlife time of like, I hit 35 last month, and I was kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, this is about the midlife time. This is how quickly it went already. Just like that again, death is inevitable, and
Shit,
so
I
is
thought 20
the
years ago, 21 was going to be I was like, man, if I ever make it to 40, 42, like, I did it. Now that I'm there, I'm like, son of a bitch, I want to go another 40.
right, right. And that's one thing that I've always mentioned too, is like, if I make it to 50, I've done all right, I've done all right. And having kids and just, seeing different perspectives, and realize that, life, you definitely want to live as long as you now. Do I want to be 100? No,
I don't know,
no.
man. I've been seeing the memes of like the one lady that still drinks like beer every day at 100. And like, what's the secret? Stay single and drink beer every day. I'm like, well, Jesus.
Oh man, you know what? No, she's still, so she's like, oh, because my pussy's still wet at 100, and I'm like, get it, grandma. Hell yes. And also, where do you live?
A lot of it. What's your net worth?
That's hey, I would be like an Anna Nicole Smith. People can go by. Let me call my middle name as well. I'll start going by all three names too. I don't care. They're like, look at that piece of shit. He's just using her for the money. No shit.
Oh, I thought you were
Duh.
going to say the old guys. It's all
Hey,
trending
either
that
way,
way.
I will not. How much money? If Bezos is on his deathbed, I'd give him a beater or two for life savings. I'm not proud.
Not
Money.
proud.
They say money can't buy happiness. You are wrong. Money can buy a lot of happiness and a lot of jet skis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about that one yet, but maybe someday. But either way,
Wishful.
I looked at the clock for the first time. We might as well get out of here. We are busy dudes, and you're sitting in a studio that's probably about 32 degrees or 0 Celsius at this point. And,
Oh, you can see it.
oh
A little
my
bit.
gosh.
It's a little cold, a little
Plus, if you
chilly.
sit for too long, you might get some hemorrhoids. And if you do, check out our friends at Roid Rage. We love them. And my poops have been good eating them. Vitamins, the gummies. Definitely check them out. And all the other friends in the description down below. This isn't your first time listening or seeing a video, so you know what to do. And if you don't want to, that's cool too. But either way, happy almost Valentine's Day. If you're unprepared, stop by a local gas station at least. Go buy some chocolates, flowers. You're going to overpay at this price because it's, well, the 13th. If you're listening to this after Valentine's Day, then you're going to get some 50% off, maybe 75% off candy. Spoiler alert, the kids and the women will still love that cheap candy. But since it's February, they probably already got the Easter shit out. So just go buy yourself some Easter candy for Valentine's Day.
And feel free to send us all of your unused Valentine's Day candy. We will eat it.
I know I got to figure this out. I know we're on the way out, but I still make homemade cards for the kids. Come up with a little cheesy little poem, and I do that. And I said, you know what? Am I a little cheap? Yeah, but I still go buy a little box of chocolates, just like $1 or $2 here or there, a little homemade card, and that's what you get.
Look at you. See, I have the kids still make homemade ones for Mother's Day and everything. But
Yep.
that's awesome. Such a good dad.
Hey,
Look
I
at
try.
that.
You know, I'll even cut them into a little bit of a heart sometimes. Or if I'm running on low on time, then I just make them on the computer and make it all fancy and then print.
Look at you go.
Look at.
I go to
They
the
don't
dollar
listen to this
store.
show, so ChatGPT is probably seeing now I'm paying $20 a month. I'm putting it to work. They're going to come up with some poems for me. Although I don't know, I like the cheesy ones. I like to try to find different ways to be like roses are red, or or different flowers. Dandelions are yellow, and so are your teeth, and so is the toilet when you don't clean it for a week.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I could sure use a BJ, maybe from you.
You should write that down.
We need to write that down. There we go. All
That's a
right.
good
I got
one.
some notes over here too.
Look at us.
Productive.
Brandon, get some sleep, little fella. It's going to get better. Everybody else, if you're still listening for whatever reason, we appreciate you. And Yuban, as always, appreciate you, brother. Hopefully you're feeling better. You look
I'm
a
getting
lot
there.
better, and it's good
Yes.
good to have you back on the mend for at least a little bit. So, all right.
On the
Well,
mend. I thought you said on the men. And I was like, that's the second reference in about 3 minutes, buddy.
I mean, hey, money.
If the shoe fits, or if the fits, I guess.
If the Magnum fits, I got nothing else. I don't know. I'm hungry. I'm going to go see what's in my fridge because the family is still out shopping for snacks. So I get full reign on there, even though there's probably nothing less. So that's all we got.
Ooh.
We'll be back next week. I didn't have a concession stand. I know we said we were going to start ranking concession stands. You were sick. You didn't go to the thing yesterday. I didn't have a tournament this weekend, so you get no concession stand updates for us. And I don't think I have a tournament next weekend. No, I don't have a tournament next weekend, but I have one the 22nd. So the 23rd, the time of the recording or whatever, I'll do another one.
Hey, I got a few this weekend, so hopefully some good things. But it's a Kansas City school, so it's gonna be basic and overpriced, I imagine.
Well, they'll either be super happy because of what happened in the Super Bowl, they'll be super sad. And this is already out, so you know what happened. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, whatever. It's a lose-lose for guys like us. So
I'm rooting for the commercials and the halftime show. Everything else,
that's why
don't care.
ticket sales went down 58% because nobody wants to go to that damn thing.
Do
Unreal.
not blame them.
If the Bills would have made it, Bills Mafia would have been going nuts in New Orleans.
I will leave you with one thing too. I don't know if you saw the Josh Allen video where the kids in the hospital cheered him on or whatever. It was after he won MVP. He volunteers a lot at the Children's Hospital, and they all he knew them all by name. As soon as they popped up, he was naming them. It's all the ones that he's
Wow.
visited and everything. I was sick in bed and everything else. I cried like a baby. I have never had tears. I was just like, "Is this?" I was like, "Get this off my feet. I don't need this anymore. No, thank you." So, if you guys are listening, dads have hearts too. Okay, you just need Josh Allen to see kids on a tablet to make us cry, because
There we go.
that's what really we want to see.
Yes, we have hearts and we have feelings, so be nice to us, you little shits.
Yes, okay. And
All right.
be nice to your wieners.
Yeah, all of them. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.